Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Abdesamed. Et maintenant, Yassine Bouhara, Group Chairman of TEL.
So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Yassine Bouhara, Chairman of TEL Group. I would like to first thank The Economist and RedMed to have given me the opportunity to present at this conference. TEL Group is a regulated financial company active in asset management, private equity, and corporate finance, with connectivity in Europe, the Gulf, with a presence in Algeria. We're a member of the stock exchange, regulated by the Algerian regulator, the COSOB. Picture speaks more than words. When you can see on this map, the little dot on the right will be the necessary to power, covered by photovoltaic cells, to power all Algeria. And you can see in the gradation, the small square is MENA, the second largest is EU. And if we cover the entire block red of photovoltaic cells, we could power the entire world. Obviously, this will require all connectivities, financing, technology, and all the infrastructure to be put in place. But before we dream, let's first analyze the European energy situation, and I'll be brief as my predecessor have spoken about European energy security. As you can see from the following chart, the dependency of Europe, 75% of its consumption is still in fossil, 88% is oil imported, and 63% is gas. More than a third is depending of Russia, Africa being around 20% with a large part of Mediterranean country. The chronic deficit for Europe is not set to improve within the coming 20 years. It's actually expected to deteriorate further. A series of challenges faces Europe. A decline in domestic production, necessity to reduce its reliance on Russian import, CO2 emissions, environmental pressure, slowdown in renewable-based capacity addition, combined with an increased demand of energy. The alternatives, they exist. Eastern Mediterranean gas extraction in a geopolitically troubled area, US shale gas, mentioned before, nuclear energy proliferation, very efficient but not popular. I believe that Europe's safest long-term bet is without questions North Africa. Oops. Effectively, North African countries are ideally positioned to play a key role in EU's future energy supply scheme. But what is required is a massive integration strategy, development of an energy cooperation framework, aligning North African countries' energy plans with Europe, and as well fulfilling the requirements of clean energy targets, as well as a development of a grid, interconnectivity within North Africa, mentioned before, and obviously between North Africa and Europe. I will on purpose focus on the Maghreb. In this presentation, I've not intentionally taken out our Libyan friends, but obviously they're focused on the stabilization of the country. So I've chosen to focus within North Africa on the Maghreb, which is Algeria, Morocco, and Tunisia. A 3 million kilometer square area, population of 85 million, obviously common culture, a lot of internal synergy. And in addition to its fossil energy production, the Maghreb has one of the largest opportunity in terms of renewable capacity. By 2030, the total projected energy production of the Maghreb will reach 32 gigawatts. This is entirely driven by domestic policies. There is no coordination between them, and more specifically, not an integrated strategy with Europe or within a Mediterranean frame. At the center of this region is Algeria, 2.4 million kilometer square, approximately 12 times the size of France. It is not only the largest African country, it is the largest country of the Mediterranean. It has the 10th largest reserve of natural gas, second in Africa, the 16th largest reserve of crude oil, second in Africa, and as mentioned before by Salah, the third largest reserve of exploitable shale gas in the planet. But it's not only fossil energy. There is obviously shale gas capability, but wind power, obviously solar energy. I've chosen to talk about solar capability as it is the most interesting, I believe. This is a solar map of Algeria that has a plan of 22 gigawatts by 2030. And the government has put an incentive of purchasing out of the grid at 50 cents per kilowatt hour, which is one of the highest in the world. It is guaranteed by the government. The cost of the total program is expected to be a median value of $80 billion. It will actually save 300 billion cubic meter of gas, then either kept or utilized for other type of industry rather than to be burned to create energy. Question that many people ask about photovoltaic technology is that, is it viable? As you can see on the chart, the installation of photovoltaic technology has accelerated over the last 5 years. It was initially driven by policy, then it is now driven by technology. The trigger was the rise of China. As you can see on the second chart, China has, as usual, created an inflection point and a disruptive technology. This massive development led to an improvement of the technology which made photovoltaic solar production more efficient. And actually, you can see on the last chart, then wind. We are now down to 5 kilowatt per hour cost of production. We believe as well that photovoltaic cells production will start to spread, and we believe that India, Turkey, and ultimately MENA and the Maghreb will become production units. I will have to say that with these facts, not believing photovoltaic production of energy is an insult to intelligence. To develop photovoltaic solar plants, you need money. There is 3 levels. The rule in solar is simple. First comer, first served. The venture capital inception, the R&R generated by plant is around 25 million, very substantial returns. At the private equity proliferation level, when the grid purchase costs start to drop, investor can expect 10 to 20% R&R. At the ubiquity, when the product is mature, the return are around 7%, which is still high in a zero interest environment. There is obviously a massive opportunity of development of infrastructure as the enhancement of the grid and interconnectivity. Renewable energy create jobs. As of 2014, 7.7 million people in the world are involved in renewable energy employment. Skilled jobs are created through photovoltaic production, R&D, education and training, gas industry, petrochemical, glass, transport, finance, and obviously plants, aluminum, cabling, galvanized steel, engineering, and obviously the grid redeployment will create one of the largest opportunity in terms of infrastructure investment. And I believe that the job creation for North Africa will have an obvious impact on migrations, expansion of a middle class, which become consumer for goods and services. More importantly, it can accelerate the integration of north and south of the Mediterranean. I believe that Algeria is the key of all of this because in that region, it's already the energy leader. It has fossil energy, it's a regional champion. It has expertise, an energy distribution track record. A power grid in Algeria covers already 99% of the population. For most people who have heard from Salah, over the last 10 years, Algeria has spent $500 billion in infrastructure. And if you happen to visit Algeria, you will see specifically across the country, even in remote locations of Algeria, significant infrastructure. As a regional economic power, Algeria could integrate the region as well. There is obviously an opportunity. We have a COP22 taking place in our region, in Marrakesh, Morocco. So to finalize, yes, we could power the EU. What are we waiting for? Maybe we are all waiting for the sun to rise. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much indeed. Perhaps due to a